What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, just been another long week. Tomorrow's Friday. I got another run to do tomorrow, and then I got the weekend. So how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing good. Oh man, you know, I've actually run into a gentleman today who happened to be Filipino, which I thought was rather interesting. And we got to talking, and he was telling me that he's been here in the States now for about 10 years. And I was asking him, you know, how do you like it here in the United States? I mean, what do you like? Well, to make the long story short, he wants to go back to the Philippines. Now, I don't know how many times I've heard this. I've heard this from so many people from the Philippines and from actually Asian countries, unless they're a doctor. You know, I actually know a few Asian doctors here that are heart specialists, and one of them is actually Indian. He's from Indonesia or something like that. Nicest people you'd ever want to know, man. Nicest people. But you know, I got to talking, and he was telling me that it is true that here in the States, it's too fast-paced, man. People don't really know how to just sit down and take a deep breath and just smile. Most people here don't have smiles. Seriously. It's a rat race every day. So, he'd been here in the States for 10 years. And he loves the fact that, you know, of the different opportunities that they have here in the States, you know, because it's to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Philippines, for example, you can only have one job. You can't have multiple jobs. Here in the States, you can have as many jobs as you can handle. And, you know, I remember when my wife first came over here and I was telling her that, I said, yeah, you know, you don't have to have just one job. You can work 2 jobs if you'd like. And she just thought, wow, how is that even possible? Well, if you're working, say you work a full-time job Monday through Friday, you could have a part-time job Saturday through Sunday if you'd like. You wouldn't have any time to do anything, but you would be working 7 days a week. Yeah, the money could be good, but, you know, is it really worth it? You're not being able to really go and enjoy yourself. And the reason I bring that up, guys, is because that is the reality here. A lot of people work Monday through Sunday, and there is no time for play. And, you know, I don't want to necessarily say it's a choice with everybody, because some people don't have that choice. They have to do that in order to make ends meet. But I believe that we all live a certain way, and if you choose to have certain things in your life, and if it's going to make you work 7 days of work, well, that's the lifestyle you've chosen for yourself. That's what I believe. Me, personally, I would love to have Monday through Friday off and just have the weekends, but it's not like that. See, my job consists of Monday through Friday and then Sunday. So, I have one day off throughout the week, and that is a Saturday. Saturdays is the day that my wife and I will go out. We'll do the things that we have to do. And right now, like with my wife, it's that time of the year for tax season where she also is working overtime, especially Saturdays. But this Saturday, I'm telling my wife, you're not working this Saturday because we're going to go visit some family, and I'm taking you guys with us. I'm going to take the camera, and we're going to go on this little journey. I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but you know, it's something. I'm going to show you guys Altoona, Pennsylvania. Take you guys into the homes of my family. So It's something different. I haven't actually been able to see my family in quite some time because of my work schedule. And you know, I got to thinking the other day. I was actually on the road and I was thinking about this whole thing, and you know what, man? A lot of times we can't pick or choose what happens in the workplace. And what I mean by that is, if you're on a certain schedule, you don't have much of a choice. It's the same thing in the Philippines. You know, y'all work Monday through the weekend. Okay, if you work in the mall, chances are you may have to work the whole weekend. It's the same thing here. And you know, I was thinking, you know, my mom is not getting young. My mom is, I believe my mom is like 77 years old now, and I need to spend a little more time with my mom. Now, I don't always have the opportunity of having weekends, but this is going to be one weekend that I will have. And so I'm going to be visiting with Mom and two of my other sisters. One that you may recognize from videos. You may recognize her from one of the videos. I talked to her about her trip going to the Philippines, and she actually had a pretty good reaction from that video. She basically was just explaining what it was like for her visiting the Philippines for the first time. I actually interviewed my sister, interviewed like I'm a reporter. I did a video before going over, and I was doing a video while we were there. So they actually both those videos actually did pretty well. But you know what, man? No matter what, take the time to be with family. And I don't have to really say that to the Philippine people, because that is already what you do. But here in the States, it's a whole different venue. It's a whole different situation. You know, it is true. You work your butt off Monday through the weekend. And unfortunately, you don't always have the time to see family. There's a lot of people that live here that have family members that live in different states that they may not see for the whole entire year. They may only see them around Christmas time or Easter. You know, those are some of the biggest holidays that we have here. And, you know, what are you supposed to do when you're working a job that demands your experience, and then you have your family? It's really hard. It's very difficult, because you can't just tell your employer, well, I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to do it. Because why? Well, because I need to go see my family. So it's a lifestyle thing here. So the gentleman basically, when I explained to him that most foreigners that come here to the States, well, they're all saying the same exact thing, and that is that it is so fast-paced that people just don't have the time. They don't have the time to just get together with you, just to sit back, relax, you know, have a few laughs. And it's true. You go to work, you have a work family, but once you leave, that's it. That's all you got. Now, you may have a certain group of people that work in the same company that you do that may go out and get together every week. But see, it's just not like that for most of us. I just turned 51 years old yesterday, and wow, I just can't, you know, I feel like I'm 18 years old. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm 51. I may look it, but I don't feel it. And I don't know, I guess as you get older, you get wiser, you get smarter, and you know, it's just, all I know is this. Okay, I'm going to go a little deep here. All I know is that this time in my life for the last 5 years has been the best life that I have lived on this earth, and that is with my wife. My wife, who is a Filipino. I just adore her. I love her to death. She means the world to me. She means everything to me. And I'm very protective of her. I will protect her to no end. Which I have already had to do that here, okay? Not in the physical, but in the verbal. I have had to protect my wife, and I will go to any levels, whatever it takes, to protect her. And it's not just because she is a different culture, it's because of the love I have for her. And I know how cruel people can be. Now, my wife is not experiencing that, because most people that meet my wife, they just love her to death. They just love her because, one, you Filipino women have some of the most beautiful smiles that I've ever seen. That is true. The way you carry yourselves, the way you think, your personalities is just amazing. And that's what my wife brings to her workplace, on the outside, to other people, to strangers. It doesn't matter. But these last 5 years for me have been the best 5 years I've had in my whole entire life. And she has taught me so much about, you know, there's something about your culture that you don't worry about things so much. You know what I mean? There are certain things that may affect me, but to my wife, she is more laid back, more relaxed, and just her train of thought would be, why do you worry so much when it's out of you don't have any control of it? You know, it may be a circumstance that is taking place at work. Why do you worry so much about something you have no control over? Or, you know, it's things like that. And I just love that about her. She really gets me on the right track every time. So, once again, I bring to you the fast-paced lifestyle here in America that, you know, I got to deal with these people every day on the highways that are just always in a hurry. People just don't know how to take a deep breath and just relax. You know? I mean, I hadn't really picked up on this sort of thing until my last few trips to the Philippines. And then I came back. And I remember I was sitting at one of our local malls. Of all places, the local mall. And I remember just sitting there and watching people and watching how they just to go. I mean, listen, you have the weekend off. This should be a time that you should be relaxing. And I'm not saying that people aren't enjoying themselves, but they're still shopping at a very rapid, fast pace. And I'm thinking, why? Why are you doing this? Why don't you just take your time? Well, you see, I can't do that. See, I got to shop at this store. I got to get to the next one. I got to be home at a certain time. I got to be home. It's nonstop. But that's the way it is here in the U.S. It is very fast-paced. And you know what? This is just Pennsylvania. I can only imagine what it's like New York City, Los Angeles, all these big cities. I can't even imagine what that is like. You know, one gentleman left me a comment. He lives in Los Angeles, California, and he's the one that was telling me that he wakes up every day wishing that he could just go back home to the Philippines. Because the things that I say are very true, that people don't have time for you here. People are too busy. I know I can't wait, y'all. I can't wait for December to get here. I've already got my approval through my work to go on my next vacation, and that is to come back to the Philippines in December of this year to stay through the new year. And that's going to be an experience just for me. That's going to be something new for me, because I have never experienced Christmas or the new year in the Philippines, and I've heard so much about it, and I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the, well, 22-hour flight, but when I think about it, it's worth it. It's worth the trip. So until then, you guys, just wanted to share a little bit with you guys that I thought it was pretty awesome that I was able to speak to another Filipino today through the court system here. And it's not too many times that you run into a Filipino that is a PO, and a PO is a probation officer. Probation officers are the ones that watch after juveniles that have gotten themselves into a little bit of trouble, and they're at the courthouse, and that probation officer is there to make sure that whatever it is that was assigned for this juvenile to do, in other words, if he is to go into a treatment program, or if he was to go back to a detention center, whatever it may be, that probation officer is there to make sure that the judge rolls on that, whatever it is, in the best interest basically of the juvenile. So it was nice being able to speak with him today. So until then, you guys, until the next video, I will talk to you guys in a while in my next video. It's coming up very soon. We will be heading to Altoona, and I'm going to take you guys with us. So keep it real, love the ones you're with, because you just never know. You really, truly just don't know. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Peace out. Bye.